see the wink, Faye?
Oh no! Oh, bummer. Oh man, I just turned away for like a second. Did it? All right. Good evening. This is HNN, the Hollow Table News Network, because you're not even remotely close to Around the Clark. Man, now I didn't get the wink and
This is gonna be a
Around the
terrible
Clock,
night.
Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, news, reactions, reviews, theory crafting, and more source. I'm Faye34, your host who's failing, and today we're joined by my one distinguished co-host, Sir Georges. Welcome back.
Thanks, Faye. Good to be back.
Good to have you. See, like Sarah had to work or something like that. What kind of excuse is
Lame.
that? Yeah, lame. I hope you're listening to this. Lame was the answer. But as always, we will start the show with your HNN headline news. And today we have 4 headlines. And finally, after a couple months already of teasing it, we had at least something happen with the Galactic Legends and some info dropping. And they had some key important parts to say about it. Sergi, you want to talk about what you got out of that
Yeah.
Galactic Legend post?
They gave some vague hints at how they will work, but it was enough to make us see their usefulness and want to collect them. Because, there aren't very many plug-and-play tunes created nowadays. That's good to hear that. For example, Galactic Legend Rey has parts of her kit that target all light side. I'm going to assume that Galactic Legend Kylo is also going to have something that helps all dark side.
One would think, right?
Hopefully. And we don't really have any helps all dark side characters. So that'll be good.
Not that I can think of.
Because R2 has already started to help all light side.
Yeah, and Padme does too. Well, kind of. She actually stops him from gaining turn meter, but
yeah.
Wait, so that's kind of backwards, I guess. Now that no, they all still gain the protection up. So
yeah,
that's still
health,
they do.
Yeah. So that's good to hear. And the most interesting thing I found was that they are going to manipulate the mastery stat.
Mastery.
So now, not just will it matter to have Relic 7, but any squad with one of these 2 Galactic Legends is going to be better than a full Relic 7 other squad, because these legends are going to enhance the mastery stat. I'm imagining it's going to be, as if you look in game, Relic 7 is something like plus 45 to the mastery stat. So my guess is it's just going to be plus 20 more or plus 30% to your...
Did I hear that from you? In my head, I have this thing that says like plus 20%, but I was looking over like, no, it doesn't say that anywhere. Did like you post that somewhere or something?
I talked about it.
Okay, is that like in my head I had that? I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. So you invaded my head that I kind of thought that was a real thing. And I had to, I wasn't sure, but enough that I was like,
Inception.
Is that a thing? Yeah, well, yeah, totally.
You thought it was your own idea.
Definitely incepted me, we'll use as a verb.
So that'll be cool. Although I do kind of want more space between something that boosts relics. So a character that makes a certain squad better than another squad of relics. Because relics are still really new.
Yep. Yeah, I like that it's only the mastery things, because I know they were all gung-ho about mastery when relics came out, and it matters, but it's still not like I still couldn't tell you what the mastery ones were on most of the characters. Mm-hmm. But if you give them what they already have plus the extra ones, I think it will be important to know, like, strength tank gets armor and protection, and agility attacker gets critical damage and critical chance. So then you don't have to mod those types of things sometimes, and which I would like that type of nitty gritty nerdy numbers are right up my alley. So I like that part to it. And that's for everybody. At first I thought I read it as like Rey will only do light side and the mastery up, but I think that mastery is for whoever is on this. So that helps with the plug and playness.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. And yes, it's good that it'll boost what the character is specifically meant to do. So rather than like Padme, like you mentioned, plus 50% health. Well, with this one, if it's plus 50% to your character's mastery, for tanks, it'll boost protection, armor. But for attackers, it'll boost crit damage, crit chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, and like ones like Padme, that's where you have to, she has accuracy, health steal, and armor penetration, which are like the most nebulous and hardest ones to, what I mean? Like, boy, I really wish she had more health steal. That's not something I ever say to myself. So there are going to be important ones and then some not so important ones. So I still think the support people will get kind of the short end of the relic stick, while the tanks and the attackers get the best part, but whatever.
Yeah,
we'll use that accuracy, Padme.
And then what is going to set these legends apart from any other character in the game? Kind of like how General Skywalker, you have to topple them like they're a boss or something. These legends have a ultimate ability. So similar to a capital ship, where you have to charge up their ultimate over the course of the battle, Galactic Legends will have a visually striking and often strong enough to turn the tide of battle ultimate ability.
I missed the visually striking part. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, what if it zooms in like they used to do with the capital ship ultimate?
Yeah. And the keyword being used to be there, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be cool once or twice.
Right.
And then you'll be like, just skip this. It better not take more time. That type of thing is, but it's going to.
Right.
And then eventually people complain and they'll get rid of it after 9 months. But is that, is it an annihilate, but not an annihilate? It'll do different things, like, or Illuminated Destiny. How is that any different than Illuminated Destiny or annihilate? Like, those would be ultimate abilities in my head.
Yes, right? You're right. But somehow these
are cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it for the info we've received on Galactic Legends.
And one per team. Did you say that?
Yes,
so
that's right.
You can't have Kylo and Rey, even though they're the new buddies, or are they? Yeah, spoiler. Or not. Romance. In the in the part there. So they can't be on the same team. This is the first locked out that you can't have these people all together. So that will be interesting to see. And that they did say Galactic Legend Rey could lead a Great Resistance squad. So, I mean, everyone assumed, but she will be a leader, and they will work well with that team, probably the best. But there's other ones that they could hop on over to. So they seem worth it. For any doubts about if Galactic Legends are the next meta or not, or if they're just supposed to be fine, they are. I have no doubts at all. They will be way overpowered, and you either have them or you don't type of thing. Or you're not getting first in arena, and at least for a little bit.
For sure.
All right, and then for the stuff that's actually relevant right now, they did release some stuff on the Galactic Legend event format. So first thing I'm going to say in my prediction, Ali, is the event is persistent, and I nailed it. I mean, that was the whole point of the journey guide to me. And I went back and forth with some people on that, and eat it. That's all. I get some things right sometimes. But so they now, by the way, changed it to they'll need 13 ships and characters in total for each one. And Galactic Legend Rey will require, for part 1 of 4, a Rey Jedi training at Relic 7. So the not so easy one to get. And then Finn and Resistance Trooper at Relic 5. And this is, OG episode 7 Finn, not the new one. And then Galactic Legend Kylo Ren will require Kylo Ren unmasked. So again, the episode 8 version. Relic 7, First Order Stormtrooper and Officer at Relic 5. Sergi, what do you think about the requirements? Oofta or just like to be expected?
I don't know.
Or a little bit of both.
To be expected. I'm guessing. I don't know. It seems like now they're going to try to shift away from power requirements to
Right?
relic
Yeah.
requirements.
It was too complicated for people, I guess. Or
Yeah, I do like this better. It's hard. It's you got to finagle like mods or Zetas for power requirements. So I do think relic requirements is better, but no, I
it's
don't.
definitely simpler.
Right, definitely simpler. I do not like needing to even
Yep.
attempt it. Relic 5 and Relic 7 characters, because that's the max. So
Yeah. Right.
it's either going to be easy or super hard, and no way to whale out anymore because you've already got everybody at Relic 5 and Relic 7.
Correct. So the event has to be. I mean, it has to be fairly easy. There shouldn't be a ton of replays because you either have those people or you don't, right? But maybe they make it. I don't know. I
But
don't know.
it's not timed. You've always got it there. So
That's
maybe
true.
it
That's
can be
true.
hard.
Unlike, say, like doing the Req battle or something like that, it's you don't get a once per month. You can just do it over and over and over and over and over. Yeah, that's a good point.
I kind of like it because it actually gives me more direction in the game now.
Yeah.
Because I never was going to take First Order Stormtrooper up. He's been Gear 8 since the start of me playing. Like since they made
right, like when he came out, probably
right,
it was just
right.
like yeah.
But now I'm finally gearing him up. But I don't know if I like the trickled out character requirements because I don't want to work really hard to get all these First Order built up, only to last day they reveal that you need Hux and Sith Trooper 7-star Relic 5, but they just dropped them off to be farmable that day.
Oh, I'm counting on that. I'm positive that's what they're going to do.
So you don't think they're going to give free-to-play players time to farm?
Nope.
Mm.
I think the event will drop like when that last one becomes farmable. Gotcha. So you can, I mean, it's possible, but I think that's their give and take of it's always there, but if you wailed out already, you can get it right now. And then, once you're getting crushed in the arena, then people are, or even people like me that haven't spent in forever being like, you know what, I'm going to cut off 2 weeks on this by spending $20 at the end. Like I'm just sick of having to gear or like get these shards forever and ever. That I could see myself doing.
But now,
possibly.
So there's 13 characters we're going to need. I'm going to guess 5 First Order and Resistance, the standard ones. And then 5 new ones. And then maybe 3 ships or 3 wild card characters.
Wild card, that'd be good.
Like you
just throwing.
Yeah, right. So maybe like for a Resistance Ray or the Galactic Legend Ray, you've got to have the veteran smugglers built up.
Yeah, that would certainly be something I would do because they darn well that no one has them beyond Gear 8 type of thing.
Or spoiler, for Kylo, you got to have Palpatine and Vader.
Yeah. I can see those being relevant ones, which is why, for farming it, for me, it's basically
Horde.
Yep. Like so I'm going for the Resistance one. Just the other day I got Resistance Trooper to Relic 5. So I have my scavenger title. I was saving up for a month with Relic stuff and blew it all in the day and still didn't have enough. So that's how long it takes to get that done. But the ones that are going to come next there are definitely going to require more and more. So you just hoard again. So right now I'm just staying on top of the hoarding.
Okay, yeah. But the ones, once they're revealed, you're slowly...
Then I go. Yep, then I'm all in. I'm in for Resistance.
Okay.
That's happening. I know Resistance Hero, Finn, and Poe. I won't, because I'll have to get their shards up. But eventually, then I at least know that Trooper's done and I don't have to go back to it from that point.
I'm trying to get both, but we'll see. I'm hoarding enough to where I should be able to focus on one or the other if I have to, if I don't think I can get both. But
good luck.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm gonna for sure get the Resistance one and hopefully get the First Order. Stormtrooper's the one that's holding me really back.
Mine's at Gear 7, I just checked.
I got him to Gear 9, but he needs these stun guns that are so hard to get. Never hold on to.
Let's check. So that part, like that's what, but I just know I'm gonna need that for Resistance first. So I'm like all in on Resistance. That'll take 3 or 4 months, and then it's gonna take me like 3 to 6 months to do the First Order right after. But like my farming is set for the next 6 to 9 months. You know what I mean? Like these are what I'm going to go after. So that's a good and a bad thing, I would say. As far as how much or where we're at, I'm just looking here. Yeah, I have 947 on the stun gun tracker. So
how are you getting more? Didn't you have 700 last time or something? Where are you getting these stun guns
something either that or 800, 7 or 8. That seems right.
Are you looking at the wrong stun gun? Are you looking at stun gun 4 or something?
No. They're the old fivers. But if I gear First Order, they're going to be right. Do you not have the? So then that's the other thing. Once I have to gear all these up, especially First Order. Then I'll be really sad that that's down anymore, and I can't use this as a bid on the show. So maybe I just won't do it all together. I'll just hoard them forever and have that butt up. But no, so I'm set on a couple of those things. But even with almost 19 stun guns built up, that's still not enough to do all of them, I would think. So it's going to be a long journey for that, and hopefully it pays off. They did say not all the characters will have relics. I don't know if that means they'll be Gear 13 and you don't have to add relics, or maybe even a couple of Gear 12s. And then I should mention, 13 ships and characters are needed, but if you need the ships, you need those characters. So there's a good chance it's really like 15 to 17, because if you're having 3 of the characters that need the ship, you're like, yeah, technically you don't need Resistance Troop or Resistance Pilot, but you kind of need Resistance Pilot at R3 to even make the ship battle work, or if they may have a power requirement since they don't have relic requirement on the ship. So it's possible for that to actually be even higher than it says on there.
Yeah.
Because of those ships.
At the same time, you get to double dip then with the characters piloting the ships likely being also needed.
Possibly. I don't know that they'd be that nice. I can definitely see them, like, you need the Radis, you need like Holdo's new ship, and you don't need Holdo at all, but you need
they haven't been doing this like that lately.
All right, I hope you're right. Like I said, if you need Resistance Pilot and the ship at the certain power, hopefully that's one of the other ones too. But I don't know. That seems too nice. But on the other hand, they already require 26 things. Most people don't have 26 Gear 13 people, or even close to that to start with, let alone getting all these ones to that. So,
right. Thanks for following, Sugatha. We got a new follower.
Excellent. Thanks. That name that you said.
Where's your Resistance Finn? Episode 7 Finn. Where's your Finn at?
5. So I have, right when they released the announcements, I had enough to build up. I got Rey from Relic 3 to 7. And then both Finn and Trooper were at Gear 12 with like nothing on them. So I had that stuff hoarded. So they got up to Gear 13. Finn got to Relic 5 the same day. And then Resistance Trooper took like a week to get up there. So yesterday or 2 days ago, I got that whole, like, I'm set on the Resistance for this first bit. I was hoping they do this every week. Keep releasing the requirements so
Yeah.
I could keep pounding ahead, but maybe the end of March they're doing it as an every other week type of thing. We'll find out. Maybe tomorrow they'll have more. Where are yours at? And then like I don't have any even gear 12 first order. Like straight up gear 11 is my highest.
Yeah.
And like it's year 7 for Stormtrooper. So that's why it's not even.
Now I have to go first order just to have the character.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that just makes sense for the show, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I took Kylo Ren to 3, Relic 3, and First Order Officer to Gear 12, almost Gear 13. But I want to wait till I know I can get both factions before going all in. Resistance, I feel pretty good about just because overall they're much better. Because if they make R2 or C3PO needed.
Right.
And I plan to do Holdo.
I hope so.
Right. And I plan to do Holdo just because of the ship. So my Finn is at 5.
Nice.
JTR is at Relic 4. And then I'm holding for Resistance Trooper till I see.
And those, by the way, I don't know about that makes sense. The Resistance ones are all actually solid relics. I mean, Resistance Trooper is an attacker, so those are always good relics. And Finn as a tank actually becomes pretty tanky along with his healing and regular battles. He doesn't build up long enough to get big damage, but in the raid stuff, he's been known for a while now to get some good damage going. So they're not wasted characters. Whereas like First Order Officer, you need maybe his speed to gear 13, but I highly doubt a Relic 1 versus Relic 5 First Order Officer means anything.
Yeah.
But maybe. Obviously, I'm not the one to talk to about that. Go find someone else with your evil ways. So what's the next? Are you hoarding or are you still building those ones up?
I'm hoarding, although I don't hoard the best. So I think Holdo is going to be needed.
Yeah. One way or another, I'm 95% sure.
Yep. Right. So I'm getting close to putting her at gear 12 at least. I don't know. If a character will also help me this week, like either in a raid or in the Grand Arena Championship, then I'll go ahead and my First Order Executioner, I pumped him up to Relic 4.
Right, like he's just a great relic without it. Hopefully he's needed for, I would imagine. But
no, I'm hoarding until they reveal at least a couple more.
Yep. Good idea. I hope you don't spread yourself too thin.
Yeah, no.
I
have 12,000 crystals.
Okay. All right.
So I'm saving those.
Excellent.
I bought one stun gun to put on First Order Stormtrooper, but I need 2 more, I think.
Ugh.
In addition to all the carbs and everything.
Yeah.
To get him to gear 12.
That's why I never geared him in the first place. Ugh. But I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have whatever. So eventually. It's happening. First Order Stormtrooper, you will be at Relic 5 someday. It will probably be in August, but someday you will get some gear from me. Do you have a feeling I have a feeling that it's like 70% of people that are doing this are going after Rey and 30% First Order or even higher for Rey. What is your general sentiment? I haven't polled per se, but when people have been talking about it, it's been
First Order has never had a really good place in the game.
Right. Yep.
Whereas when Rey came out, he was the big new thing. He didn't quite take over Arena. Because I think that
she was for a little bit. She for like 2 months. She was the meta.
Rework.
Yep. It was like December to February of that year.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then you had the Sith raid that came out, and to this day, she's the best Phase 1 team.
By far. Yeah.
Right. So I imagine everybody has built up a Phase 1 JTR resistance. BB-8 has always been good for any kind of solo of HAAT and stuff. So I'm guessing that a lot of resistance characters have been built up. But First Order, besides being a pretty good territory war team, never really had a good place. Couldn't do anything in the raids. And Jedi Training Ray would do her heal immunity that can't be dispelled onto Kylo Ren Unmasked. And most people use that as a counter.
Of the two, they were always. Yeah. I mean, you could maybe win sometimes on offense with First Order, but on offense with Resistance, they were clearly the better option of the two.
See, that's what makes me think that hopefully the new
Kylo I hear you
will be reversing that, because they don't expect many people to get him, so he's going to be better than the Galactic Legend Rey.
That's how I would do it if I was CG.
Because they need their time to shine.
Yeah.
And Hux is not it. I'm not a fan of Hux's usefulness.
Well, you'll have to get him up to get the new Rey, so
yeah.
One would imagine. All right. So onwards until we know more. Hopefully every show we can go over a little bit more of those. Right. They did have another, I would say at least somewhat exciting. They had some new tiers for Assault Battle announced, and they already had the first one, Forest Moon, which is droids and Empire versus Ewoks, and then later this month they'll have Places of Power, which I had to double check, but First Order and Sith against Jedi. They have some pretty solid rewards. I mean, the first one, when you beat, you get 2 Zetas, some, like Cairo tech, and a little bit of finisher stuff. And then the second tier is relic thingamabobs, signal data, and a couple of the other things that go along with it. So I mean, as good a rewards as you get for, I mean, way better than Grand Arena Championship.
Oh, yeah. You
don't get any of that. I mean, at least 2 to 3 weeks worth of Grand Arena Championship rewards, at least, I would think. Of those, did you do Forest Moon? Were you able to beat it? Do you have some advice?
I liked it a lot. I'm glad they finally updated it and plan to do it for all of them. And then they said, I think it was in the last Q&A, somebody asked about updating the challenges that you do each day, like adding a new tier. They said they wanted to do assault battles first, and then this just happened. So we might be getting other good improvements, new sequel stuff to events already in game. And yes, I agree, the rewards are really good for this event. Because, if you compare just the previous one, you get 2 Omegas.
Right. Yes, that's, yeah.
2 Omegas, and then now, Challenge Tier 1, you get 5 of each of the finishers, Gear 12 finishers, and 10 of each of the Chirotechs, and 2 Zetas. That's the kind of rewards I'm talking about.
Agreed.
What'd you think of the second tier rewards? Challenge Tier 2 with the scavenger stuff.
Also good. Probably not. The Tier 1 is probably better. If I'm thinking of what it takes to farm these things, I could get that stuff in a day, all of it.
Right.
Yeah, all of that in a day, whereas all those Chirotechs and the other finishers would take 3 to 4 days worth of farming. So looking at it, I don't know about financially, but how I view it, in time to farm, the first tier is actually significantly better.
See, I've heard people talk about it being significantly. I think it's just slightly better, because the conductors, heatsink, and the signal data, that all cost a lot of crystals if you're trying to farm it free to play as well. As let's take for instance the signal data.
Yep.
That's at least 2 refreshes of Canteen Energy.
Yeah, right in your
Right.
Yep.
So that's 200 crystals. The Erodium heatsink, because of the being able to use the hollow disk, whatever those are.
Right. So that's
It's
essentially 150 crystals worth of those.
Yeah. And then the Electrium Conductor. Like, see, that stuff, that uses rare old Gear 12 that you need to get these characters to gear. I don't know. I guess it isn't.
Right. Sorry, not, but a couple. I mean, 1 day versus 3 days. The way you look at it from there, there's not amazing, but
Right.
I mean that's 3 times as much in a way.
Yeah. But before we move past the rewards, what I really like is that we get how many of these a month? Like in total, the assault battles, aren't there 4, 5 of them?
Yeah, typically. I mean, eventually when they have them all set up for
Right.
that way.
Then we'll be getting a much larger increase in finisher and signal data scavenger stuff each month.
That we weren't getting any of before.
Right. Yeah. So this is a big improvement every time these events come around. I think it's once a week or something like that they have an assault battle. So this is going to be really helpful. But now specifically this assault battle, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was actually significantly harder than the other ones. I was able to beat both tiers with Gear 12 tunes. So did not need the Relic 5.
Right, that was the other, like they recommend Relic 5, but
see, that's what I like.
I didn't need any Relic 5 on mine, and I had 2 Relic 12s.
Yeah,
right?
Don't force us.
Not Relic 12, sorry, Gear 12. Right.
Just recommend it and make it hard. I like that.
What team did you use?
So for the first one, I didn't want General Grievous just because he eats up my allies so much. But I used a IG-88 lead, which was okay for the first one, but did not work for the second one. So for the second one, I saw being spread around the idea of using Thrawn, which I had messed with, but couldn't get him to fracture enough on Tebow in the 4th wave.
Phase 4 or whatever,
Yeah. But then people were mentioning BB-8. I didn't see the appeal, but then I tried it, and the exposes do a ton of damage because they've got such high defense. You're barely doing any damage to these Ewoks. The exposes do a lot of damage from the Illuminated Destiny, and it gives Thrawn enough time to swap turn meter and get 2 stuns or 2 fractures onto Tebow, keeping him from ever taking a turn.
Yep.
How'd you beat it? What team did you use?
That's what I used. I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty proud of this. And then I went online and that's what other people are using too. I was like, darn it. But still, that was, and I did it twice because the first time when I got through Tebow, I just set it on auto to see if I could beat it, thinking, because I had time right then, like, I wonder if I can just get it. And I almost beat it. I was down to Papalu and Chirpa and wave 8 versus my B1.
Tier 1 or 2?
Tier 2.
On auto.
After phase 4.
Oh, after phase 4.
Yeah. And then, because I wanted to do it again, I thought I would lose. And I was like, oh no, I'm actually going to win. But anyway, so then I could do it again. I was like, to make sure it was reliable enough. Because I thought I was like on to something. And then I saw that people did it too. So I'm not that cool. But
great minds think alike.
But so in that, and for people doing it, and that was a couple, like I said, Gear 12s in there, and the rest were like Relic 2 or 3. So it's not like mine are terrible, but they certainly weren't Relic 5 averaged either. But as long as you set up for wave 4, like you needed to have B1 with lots of stacks, I needed to have BB-8 with Illuminated Destiny ready and Thrawn ready to fracture. And then don't be dumb like I did one time. The very first time I did it, I was like, oh yeah, I got this set up. And then I fractured with Thrawn, and then I used Illuminated Destiny, and his fracture went away right away because of the turn meter. So don't do dumb stuff like that. But otherwise, then it worked out nicely. And Magna Guard has to be at like a certain real like G12 and a half plus plus plus, or
good point,
right to gear 13, because he will take a hit from Tebow almost no matter what you do. And if he doesn't have like that exact amount of health and protection or above, he'll be dead. I think he could still finish it without him there, but it would be a little trickier.
No, I don't think you could. I spent hours.
Got it. Oh, okay, got it. Maybe. And so that's my problem. I actually really enjoyed it. I don't know that I will really enjoy it when I don't have time and it's not new. It took 10 plus minutes, if not more, to like go through every phase there, build up B1, get wave 3 set up so that wave 4 was ready, and then go through it from there. So to chime in as Celiac Sarah here, I want to sim the assault battles. This is the opposite of that.
I just want to sim it. I want it to be over.
Yeah. Yes. And you still have all the previous ones to do too. So it's like, got through all those, and then you still got to like sit there on auto for the other ones. I don't sit there, just auto and leave. Yeah. But
we do need to be able to sim the old ones.
Right. The other 4 sets, I want the rewards. I'm greedy, but don't make me sit through those 8 waves for those. So this time really enjoyed it. I don't know when I don't have time if I will or not, but all good stuff on there, and they didn't take anything else away.
Right. And the rewards, every time you do it, even though it takes time, these rewards are worth it.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Compared to like all the effort you have to do for territory battles or territory war, when just for these 1 or 2 battles, you're getting just as much as you get from a territory war.
Definitely from a war, yeah.
Yeah. Half a TB prize box and stuff.
Yeah, it's probably about half of
for just 2 battles.
Yep.
I'm impressed. I'm very, and I've always liked assault battles.
Contrary to Sarah, that naysayer.
Yeah.
You're not here.
I like the theme of how you've got 8 waves, which is a long time to survive. And the 4th wave and the 8th wave are mini boss levels, or
totally. Especially the Tebow was much harder than the.
It's cool. I like it. Yep, I was very pleased. I'm glad that they brought, and very quickly, since they discussed actually adding it to the game.
Yeah, unlike other things that they do forever. So
yeah.
Speaking of, so contrary to that, places of power, First Order and Sith. I mean, like everyone.
Darth Revan.
Right. So, like, how do you make that hard enough for Darth Revan that everyone has leveled up, but not so hard that it's ridiculous? So that one's either got to be really significantly easier or crazy, crazy hard. I don't think there's you can thread that needle of Relic 5. You know what I mean? Like it's that team is going to be either you beat it right away with Revan, or they have some mechanic that's anti-Revan that you're like, oh no, you need to have Kylo Ren unmasked or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Or maybe even the new one when it comes along. I doubt they're that forward thinking on that. People will just be mad. Like, why would you release this and you can't even beat it yet, type of thing. So that'll be my point is that'll be interesting to see where they end up on.
I look forward to it
on that versus the Droids and Empire one. Everyone has a good Grievous, but all the rest of them are gear 12 to low Relic in general for a lot of people. So that makes that a little easier to tune, I think, because it gives something to shoot for versus something everyone else already has built up.
Yeah.
Well, good. Look forward to it. And hopefully they continue, and I wonder how long it's going to be to get the other ones out there.
Yeah.
If it's going to be in a couple months or like a year from now, these are still the only 2 that have it.
Yeah. I would think if it were me making it, we get the 2 this month, and then next month we should get the other 2.
Yeah, there's like 6 total or something like that.
Then each month make 2 more. But
that'd be great. That'd be great.
Probably won't be the case.
Right, especially with
just because of how long it takes.
Next month being Galactic Legends coming up and
true. I was always surprised by how long they took to add mythic tiers to all the legendaries.
Yes. Yep. Right. Correct. That. So some of them, they don't even all have them, do they?
No, just the
No.
first few.
So right. So they added those. Are they going to stop on the? That's a great example.
Yeah.
Which they do have small news coming back. The mythic tiers. They made a little post like, "Oh right, returning." Oh, I don't know, returning. Took them away.
Didn't Thrawn always
Whatever.
have a mythic tier?
He did, but there was like, since they're always active
Gotcha.
in
the journey guide.
Right. Yes, in the journey guide, it was like, oh, I don't know if we're actually going to run that as a separate event because it used to be
Gotcha.
with that when Thrawn came back, but now they're actually doing it in the thing. So I just, like selling it as, oh, they're back. Look, oh, we're so good for this. Like, well, I mean, you took it away from us to start. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it was that type of. I won't be too excited about it. I assumed you wouldn't steal it away from us, but you never know.
Yeah.
Know. All right. Did have a content update last week, and really the only thing was the Y-Wing is now farmable. So work on that. Even though I don't think super necessary for lots of things except maybe light side TB. I'm certainly working on it, but it'll take time. And then they said some light side territory battle bugs, which were like 3 of the 4 were the separatists weren't as good as they should have been. So it's actually going to be harder. And then the other one was the like Django applies burning in the Req mission, even though no burning's been applied and you've had tenacity up the whole time. And like their answer for that was like, we'll see how it works. Like, we don't care that you're getting hosed on that one.
Yeah.
And that you can't actually get the Kiatamundi shards, but whatever. You'll just have to live with that. That was my takeaway from those ones. It's only to be made harder, which people were really asking for.
That thing is so random.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, we've only gotten to play it a couple times, but it seems to me like there's a ton of randomness because the Req will target whoever. You don't know who it's going to target.
Yep.
Django will target whoever. You don't know if he's going to attack the Req, attack you. Also, every single video and every time I've tried it, Django does a different move to start. Sometimes he does the burn. Sometimes he does his shoot the torpedo. Sometimes he just does his basic onto the Req.
Uh-huh. And that totally, and that's the people that are like, oh yeah, I nailed it, I'm going to get this every time, I think are for a rude awakening, right, versus some of the others that haven't quite gotten it, or like it's fairly, I was close both times. Like if one other thing had gone the other way, I would have gotten it. On the flip side of it, if they had done like one other move the other way, I would have been crushed and not even remotely close. So it's kind of a bummer that something that you do once a month is so random.
Yeah.
But we'll see. All right, so that brings us to our I Love You, I Know segment. You know, it's easy to get jaded by this game. Although we've been a little positive here in the last little bit there.
Yeah,
there's a reason why we're still playing it. Rob, maybe that's it.
He just drags the whole thing
down. Such a downer. So each show we talk about things that we enjoyed over the past week or two from Galaxy of Heroes. Let's start with you, Sergi. What's been good?
I enjoyed the assault battles. That was a lot of fun. It took strategy and theory crafting of what team to put together, because the obvious all separatist droids wasn't the optimal team.
Yeah, right. Great. I appreciate that.
It's great. Not even just, I want to say that the Thrawn BB-8, B1, B2, and Magna Guard is the best team to do it with. And that's a varied team that uses a light side resistance droid.
Right.
A leader that has no synergy with anyone on the team. It's great. That's what I enjoy in the game.
They're almost all like different eras too. There's like Clone Wars and the Empire and the Resistance and different. Yeah, that's a good point.
Then I also have enjoyed building up my first order. I've started running first order in phase 1 of the Sith raid. So I'm working on getting that. Do about 9 million.
Nice, nice.
And I have enjoyed
Where in phase 1?
Phase 1. Yes.
Cool.
So TB Official has a video. I learned about the team from the Mark Legends Discord server. Been part of that for years because I don't know how active it is anymore, but especially with the raids being so old. But that used to be the place to go to see new strategies.
Never heard of it.
It's great. So on there, I saw maybe a year ago, about this First Order team. And you basically just stack up First Order Executioner's health by never killing an enemy, just constantly attacking Nihilus. Because he's got either his unique or special where until he kills somebody, he'll get plus 20% health. So you just never kill anybody. And so by the end of it, you've got 500,000 or 600,000 at least health for First Order Executioner, healing 200 something.
Right, and then his offense gets bonuses based on that health. So
it's beautiful. I'll make a video and post about it soon, but I'm still working through it. But yeah, it's fun. And then my highlight of the last 2 weeks probably was doing the Dark Side territory battle. My First Order got creamed when the territory battle first came out. So I was really disappointed because I like my First Order. Now that I've taken Executioner to R4 and Kylo Ren to R3 and remodded my Kylo Ren to have a lot of protection, even though it kind of seems counterproductive to his kit.
Right? Yeah.
Whenever I ran it in the territory battle, I think it was phase 2, I could not die because they could not kill my Kylo Ren. I was in...
Because the debuffs would just like heal him back up?
Yeah, they'd heal him up. Cool. But I also couldn't kill the enemies because those annoying tanks that counter and heal back up every time they do their basic. So I literally was there on auto for 25 minutes. While
was just Ren left, or
no, Ren and First Order Executioner?
Got it. So he had to gear him. I mean, like he had to get his ramped up.
Right. So it was 25 minutes of him slowly ramping up his health to where he could one-shot.
That is slowly
these tanks. It was hilarious, but also fun. Good thing I didn't need my phone for the.
Right.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, that is good. I mean, like something that was terrible before to viable. That's a good use of the Dark Side TB. I like it. That was good. And I enjoyed. So I built up the JTR team, and for like I think the first time ever put her on defense. So I was like, wow, that feels like a waste to use a Relic 7 Rey and 2 Relic 5s to beat like a Gear 11 maybe, or not Gear 11, Gear 12 and maybe 1 or 2 Gear 13, bounty hunters or something. Like there's 2 or 3 other teams that could do that easily. So I threw them on defense, and the first 2 times they got a couple holds where like that was the only holds that I had.
Really?
And I think people just aren't used to it, and Finn is a great, like I said, a great tank on there. So that was just a fun, I got to build these up anyway. But you know what? That's a really, like, I have no idea what I would use on offense against a Relic 5 and above JTR team. So that was enjoyable to see. I did this last time. People enjoyed, so I wanted to give another shout out to a listener that's in a random part of the world. We appreciate all of you. So that's something that I enjoy about the game, is all the listeners here. So I'm going to pick one from, I'm going to say Coolabinia from Western Australia. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to look up about Coolabinia. There wasn't much about it, but it looks like it's a suburb of Perth. And the name is Aboriginal for mistletoe. So everyone needs to find their significant other some Coolabinia for the night. thanks for listening, whoever you are. We enjoy having you. All right. Last time we did the SWGOH fantasy draft. Had lots of fun. Got lots of comments on it. People seem to enjoy it quite a bit. Was going to just post and have all the results done by now, but then Sir G convinced me to do otherwise. Yeah. And we had people like, hey, who wants to do it? Like, oh, you should definitely talk about it on the show. That's what the whole point of the show is, you moron. So like, oh yeah. So we are going to talk a little bit about, it was randomly selected. I was versus Howie, Sir G versus Sarah. Sarah was ready to defend her honor, but it had to work. So I'll work a little bit with her. Check out the wonderful website, surgygames.com. Surgygames.com. That website again is surgygames.com. And my man put up a little our teams and a little vote on, did that team beat it or not, and 55 banners or 60, and just your thoughts on how that works, and so we can tally it up. So we'll go over it a little bit here. Sergi, where do you want to start? Like, you on defense, you on offense?
We can do me on defense.
All right, you on defense. Yeah. Sarah's attacking. I'll say what's going on, and then you talk about how you feel about this. So, Sergi on defense, Grievous, B2, Magna Guard, Imperial Probe Droid, and Chopper. And Sarah on offense went with Thrawn, Dooku, Sith Empire Trooper. That's still weird that he's that one, but anyway. Scavenger Ray and Sabine, the clear choice under Thrawn. So Sarah has the argument here that she would have Thrawn fracture Magna Guard since he will stealth everyone, and then she can go to town on B2, armor shred on B2. Sith Empire Trooper will take the initial hits because they'll be taunting. Scavenger Ray will inflict daze with special abilities, as long as she's not debuffed, and because all the Zetas are available, so that's good. And she does have Kenobi, Hoda, Nastavisus, and Kylo Ren for a cleanup as needed. So do you have a counter to that?
Yes. And whenever you go to vote and see these cleanup teams, I put them under the first offensive attack. But you can
got it. Thanks. Yeah. I see that now. Yeah.
When voting, you can apply that to any of the 3 battles.
So go up there and
yeah.
If
2
second
attempt,
battles,
right.
They wouldn't have more than 1 second attempt because we don't have more teams. We just have 4. So choose wisely on surgygames.com, but go there and vote.
So my counter argument is that there is no way that a Thrawn mishmash team can defeat my General Grievous droid squad. Even if he fractures my Magna Guard, Chopper will taunt, protecting everybody. And with her strategy of killing B2 first, trying to do it like it's a Jedi team fighting Grievous or something, the first time one of my allies dies, General Grievous is going to AoE to kill the entire enemy team.
Close to.
Dooku and Scavenger Ray are very low health pools.
Yep.
Even at R3 or R5, whatever. R5 is what we said they were going to be. Or R3, was it?
R3. Three. Yep.
R3.
3.
Yeah. And after just 1 or 2 turns, Probe Droid is going to be damaged from Grievous's sucking of health.
Yep.
So that right there, he's going to destroy 1 person on the team, cripple everybody else, and then Grievous is going to do an AoE. Yes. No way it happens on the first attempt. And then her second team of Kenobi and Hoda, Nastavisas, and OG Kylo. Even if her first team was somehow able to get me down to just General Grievous, Grievous can take down that cleanup team by himself.
I'm in the excellent, good, great counterpoints. I'm in
Thank
the
you.
strongly Thrawn has no chance of that. But enough to get out a couple maybe or get them super low. I think the second one has a chance with Yoda and Nest, like not like as long as it has protection up when Grievous goes and does a big hit. Kylo Ren can do some damage and at least stun him until he's in health down. So I think there's a solid chance for a second win there. And that was I voted Sarah barely wins on the second attempt. But that's why we vote. Have the other ones out there. I think that's possible. I don't think it's possible for a first win there. But I liked her argument and the other one in there.
It was
So that's one, and not to sway people too much, but I do need to give where I want to, where we're at with that. All right,
it was a fun argument, but and just to counter your counter.
To your counter,
General Grievous,
the fourth counter.
General Grievous versus the cleanup team.
Yeah,
they can't do enough damage in between Grievous's turns. That, like even with Nest, they can't do enough damage because none of the debuffs are going to stick. The Nest basic does a expose, disappears. Kylo Ren tries to stun, disappears. And he'll just one shot.
I think so. That's like one. The real problem with this is we can't test it. We could probably test this one ish in because that's not something like I mean with Kenobi, given he would stay healthy for a while, and Hoda bringing him back up, and Visas could maybe bring someone back to life. Like who knows what a Relic 3 Visas do? How many people have that? 4,
right?
But yeah, I hear you. There's a good chance that he goes off, kills someone with a skittering, and now he's back up to 100% health and just does that more times again. So
yes, I also want to say his lead reduces defense, so it'll help counter.
Oh yeah, like counter the 70% that he gets.
No, yep. Basic can't be avoided, and it does heal immunity. So I don't think GK can hold as much as he does versus other teams. But okay.
Yep. All right. Number two.
Number 2.
Sarah's attack. Sergi on defense has Padme Amidala, Grandmaster Yoda, C-3PO, Isla, and Clone Wars Chewbacca. Sarah goes, I'm going to say outside the box here, and counters with a Director Krennic lead. I just like seeing his face. It's been a while. First Zeta. Oh, man. All right. And Shore Trooper, Death Trooper, TIE Fighter Pilot, and Royal Guard. I mean, a solid compared to the last team in particular, where she was trying to put like a team, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put that in there and have it set up. So TIE Fighter Pilot for the buff immunity, Death Trooper for the mass dispel, daze, and stun, Royal Guard for stun on basic, taunt, Shore heals, Death Trooper would death mark. Krennic will be able to ability block on C-3PO. Anyone with debuffs will also gain ability block for 1 turn if they are critically hit. That's part of his leadership. If you didn't know, I'm sure many of you don't know what his does. And TIE Fighter Pilot helps with that. Sergi, counter argument to that.
You will not land any critical hits, or you will not land any critical hits or any debuffs, nullifying Krennic's lead. Because I don't know who's fastest, but either Padme or Yoda are going to go first. And whichever one goes first...
TIE Fighter Pilot would go first. In that, TIE Fighter Pilot's like the fastest in the game. Or second or something like that. So the way we have it set up, TIE Fighter Pilot would go first.
Is he though?
Yeah, I'm 95% sure. And no one else has like leader speed, so
let's
character stats.
You're right.
Speed. He's literally the fastest. Yeah, he's 190. Fast. Actually significantly fastest for those. So would go first.
Okay. So TIE Fighter Pilot is fastest, so he goes first.
Best
But
case scenario throws out ability block on, let's say, Padme.
okay,
Best
yeah,
case scenario.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he does that,
Uh-huh.
I've got C3PO on the team. Yoda doing his crazy damage because we already know that he's a hard hitter, and Ayla Sakura does stuns every time she critically hits. So I would have mine modded for lots of critical chance. We also know that TIE Fighter pilots buff immunity AoE is unreliable because it'll only do usually 3, maybe 4 buff immunities because it's only an 80% chance or something. So nobody's going to die by the time Padme takes her turn and is able to do her special to throw courage up. Then Yoda's going to throw courage up. Then C3PO is going to do a mass assist. And then Clone Wars Chewbacca is going to taunt. You can't get around the courages destroying this team. And whenever Krennic does his very good special AoE, it's going to call Death Trooper to assist.
Yeah.
Which will trigger the
protection up. Yep.
Yes. I don't see you might because TIE Fighter pilot goes first. You might be able to get away with some debuffs and an ability block on Padme at the start, but you won't be able to with the huge health pool that these characters have at Relic 3. They're gonna eventually get their specials off, and once you start getting protection up, it's game over.
As someone who loves Krennic and thinks the first one has at least a solid second win chance, as I'm going to count myself, I'm like a Krennic expert in the world of GOH. I've used Krennic quite a bit. Sorry, Sarah, this would be a total, would be like 30 seconds or less. Literally nothing they can do to Padme would have that stuff up. You can't land any of those debuffs once it's up. It would be I kind of this would be one you could, again, maybe I want to run of all the teams put in there, like have someone else on your shard put on that defense and then try to run the. But the problem is no one has R3 Krennics, stuff like that. Anyway, that's a firm loss from me on that one. So I don't think Krennic even has a remote chance against Padme.
Thank you.
I think you could drop off Isla and Clone Wars Chewbacca and still easily win that. Hell, I think you could drop off Yoda and put in Clone Wars Chewbacca instead. I'm not sure Krennic can take on Padme, 3PO, and Clone Wars Chewbacca. Because courage would build up eventually and one-shot them.
Just the nature of the courage, yeah.
It is. That's more of a Padme is a fantastic leader than anything else of all those and counters those things nicely. But I liked it. That was a fun. That was a good Hail Mary one. All right. Last one. Sergi on defense has Kira, Vandor, Chewbacca, L3, Stormtrooper Han, and young Han Solo. A nice scoundrel team. Sarah is going to counter with Luke Skywalker, Commander style. Han Solo, R2-D2, BB-8, T3M4. Sarah have to shoot Vander for CLS for Dispel, R2 for Stealth, most likely keep BB-8 out for counterattacks when hit, and call R2 to assist and stun on basic. T3 to heal BB-8 and ability block on basic. Mass Dispel, special damage, removing 20% turn meter. Will share his defense of penetration, and when they have the debuffs, R2-D2 and BB-8 will also do more damage as well. Sergi, counter arguments to that.
Yes. Commander Luke is great, so is Han Solo. But I've got a full Kira Scoundrels team, which is very hard to chew through, especially because of so much protection regeneration. Shooting Vandor Chewbacca's is good first. but that's going to give L3 turn meter. L3 is going to taunt. You're going to quickly get stuck behind an L3 taunt and a Stormtrooper Han taunt. Kira is going to do her AoE. We might get some counters. They're going to go into either L3 or Stormtrooper Han, cleansing Chewbacca. If they go into Stormtrooper Han, I've then got a ton of turn meter. Vandor does his special as his first move, gets a buff so that he can then get his prepared. And you just can't kill these people once they're at Relic 3 and up this strong. I intentionally put young Han Solo in there because he deals a lot of damage, surprisingly. Especially when he racks it up. So I've got 3 characters that can counter for each of her rebels trying to counter me.
Excellent. I think that one, this one could go either way. I can see both of that working nicely. I'm going to split the difference. Me personally, I'm going with a win first attempt, but it's a close one. I think by the time you get around taunts with Skywalker and BB-8 will help with some of that. T3 can dispel. I think you can get down Vandor, and then they just don't quite have enough with them. So I'm going to give her the first win on that one. Straight up win for that. But I could see it going the other way.
Okay.
I think that's a good one for people to decide on. But I would plan on her winning.
It's good,
one, but not a 60 by any means.
It's good we're talking through this because I didn't think about it before. I need to add on the website about the R3 and the Zetas part of the rule. Young Han Solo with his Zeta will assist a ton because he assists whenever scoundrels attack or whenever a scoundrel uses an ability.
When they're prepared, right?
I think.
Or is it any time?
It might be prepared.
I forget.
It might be prepared.
I mean, he would still do it some.
Right. And he deals a lot of damage. And then
he does, yeah. Oh.
Besides that, Stormtrooper Han with the Zeta. Crash has made great videos showing how it is very difficult to kill a Stormtrooper Han. So I don't think that Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, all these droids, it could even get stuck to where it's just all of them versus a Stormtrooper Han. But because of
they'd have it. You get your
so?
stuns, and Illuminated Destiny gets thrown up there. I think they would definitely chew through it.
Oh.
But that's why we have people vote.
That's right.
Actually, in some ways, this is almost more fun to argue about than it is to actually do it in game. Because then we'd have it. You know what I mean? Like you'd have an answer.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Can't even come close to that type of thing. So we'll go over those. All right. On to Sarah's defense. I'm going to skip number 1 because I actually think that one's the most interesting one. Let's go down to the other 2 here. We'll come back to that. All right. Sarah on defense. Jyn Erso, K2SO, Cassian, Chirrut and Baze. Sergi counters on offense with JTR, Finn, Resistance Hero Finn, Resistance Trooper, and Holdo. Sergi, what do you think? How do you feel about your chances with that one?
I feel very good. The new Resistance Hero Finn works great with JTR because he's got an AoE that can do an expose on every enemy. We've also got Holdo on the team with an AoE that can do an expose that can't be resisted on every enemy.
Daze.
Yep, Daze. Not to mention Resistance Hero Finn swapping turn meter, having a mass assist move.
Heals, right?
Right. Yes. Finn, dispelling, and Resistance Trooper has a very powerful special. He's going to go all the time. It'll almost always be off cooldown. So even if Chirrut puts tenacity up and junk, when Resistance Troopers attacking these tanks, K2 and Baze, giant power move removes the tenacity up. I don't think it'll be any contest.
I'm going to counter with I got nothing. Like I totally I was trying to. I was working on it, Sarah. I really was. I think if you waited around long enough on offense after you killed a couple, like you could get back to full health and protection. Like that's probably a 60 banner win for me. They just don't have, the other side just doesn't have the healing. And yes, Jin does have some protection and regeneration with her Zeta on their leadership. And you can't stun her. No, that doesn't work. I guess Finn has stuns. They're good teams. Yours has everything they have and then some.
I think so.
So especially on offense. Even if it was flipped, I don't like if it had been that offense versus your defense, I don't think Jin can even come all that close to winning that. So by the way, we should also take into account here on some of those. Sarah's just like more beloved than we are, so she might win just from fan support. Just throwing that out there, Sergi. I'd be a little worried if I were you.
Yeah.
All right. The other one down here on defense, Fishman himself, Akbar, Wedge Antilles, Biggs, Scarif, a Rebel Pathfinder, and Princess Leia. So a solid Rebel team that does a lot of counters, would get extra turns, calls in assists. I mean, assisting like crazy. Could be a very good team. On offense, Sergi will counter with Darth Treya, Scion, Bastila Fallen, and Darth Sidious. Sergi, do you have a prayer?
Treya versus Akbar? Are you kidding me?
I mean...
Not even close! I'm going in undermanned just because of how confident
I am. That's I do like that as a...
Yes. Because... the Akbar team is built on assist, which are only going to hurt them. Now, Princess Leia, I think, is fastest out of all these characters. Princess Leia might go first. She's going to waste her turn on her special, which is not going to help her. And then
it's going to hurt her because she's going to attack 3 times and it's going to hurt her for 2 of them.
Right. Then my Darth Sidious is going to go and put dots on each of them so that every time they take a turn, I'm being healed because the dot is going to hurt them initially when they start their turn.
I don't. We'd have to. Akbar has a no. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Akbar has his speed to the lead, so someone else on their team might still go first.
Yes,
maybe.
He's got the speed on his lead.
Spoiler alert! I don't think that matters, but continue.
Yeah. Even still, once Scion does his AoE pain onto everybody, hopefully it comes after. Actually, I'm doing this on offense, so yes. Right. I'm going to wait for Akbar to do his cleanse. Then I'm going to do Scion's AoE pain. Then they're all going to waste their attacks onto Scion. Bastila Fallen is on the team for me. So we've got Fear going out there. All these debuffs. Not even a close contest.
I am... Sarah's sworn defender here. I'm really working on it, Sarah. I got nothing for this one too. You have strong counters to what her defenses are for these 2. I don't think, unlike the other one, I don't think you can get a full protection win out of this one. Like the rebels will take away some health, and Treya doesn't really have protection regeneration. Wait, Sidious does, Bastila does for herself, and Scion does. It won't be a full 61. So I went with a 57 pointer on that one, but I don't think it's all that close.
I think they won't even get a turn.
No, they'll go because of Akbar's speed to his. We'll have to look at the speeds exactly, but they'll at least take away something. And there's no auto taunt to start with, so they attack Treya, she can't get protection back.
Maybe.
There's a couple things on there, but
isn't Treya fast?
No, I mean, not in the way that those ones are.
Because if Treya can put the protection up on herself
beforehand, no, I think she's actually fairly. Let's see here, pretty low on the list. She's 154, so she's not low on the list. I mean, she's probably like 60th or something like that, but
yeah,
I'm positive some of those
okay.
other ones would be it. So they would at least be some health garum. Like Akbar is 139, so he's 15 speed lower, so he would still go first over Treya at least with his whatever his speed burst is. I think it's 30, right?
Burst. 20, 25.
25 maybe? Yeah, 25. Still would be enough to go before that one. All right, and then so far very solid, if not total domination wins. Last one here. Sarah has a Darth Maul lead, Savage, Darth Malik, Wat Tambor, and Darth Nihilus on defense. I think that's a fun squad. And Sergi is coming on offense with some first order. So tell us about your team. How do you think this one works? This one is more interesting to me.
This one is interesting. This one will probably be the toughest, but as a lot of us are aware, Kylo Ren versus a lone Malik is no contest. And I don't think that this squad of Darth Maul and these guys is going to change that much. And the way I see this playing out, you got Wat Tambor doing the taunt thing first onto Malik. Except since Malik doesn't have protection, he doesn't ever taunt. Unless I attack him with a critical hit and get fear,
right?
He's not going to taunt. So everyone else is going to be in stealth. Malik will also be in stealth. Wat Tambor is going to be left by himself. My plus 30 speed from Kylo Ren's leadership is better than the 20% turn meter Maul gives all his Sith. Wat will go first, but I should go next after that. His first order officer is very fast.
Yep, for sure.
165 speed. And I would mod him for speed. And I don't know if any of these enemies are going to be modded for speed that could outdo my first order officer. But, okay, so now I'm going to target first to kill Wat. So the only thing that Wat should get off is the initial one onto Darth Malik. I should be able to kill him before he gets a second one off. Because he can never go stealth.
Uh-huh.
Then my first order executioner will deal huge damage because of his health pool. General Hux's first move is going to be a mass assist onto Wat Tambor. That's how we're going to make sure that he's dead. Once he's dead, we're going to try and get through Darth Nihilus. We're going to save Kylo Ren Unmasked's taunt 2-turn stun thing.
We're
going to save that for whenever Malik does get a taunt. Anytime Malik gets a taunt, I can use Kylo Ren Unmasked stun to clear it. I can use First Order Executioner Special to clear it. If they crit, I do get the chance of Malik also getting the taunt back. But still, First Order Special Forces Pilot has a very strong AoE.
And who knows how strong that relic? No one has him there.
Right. I don't... And anytime that I get a stun, or anytime I get a shock onto Kylo Ren Unmasked, who will be taunting a ton, I'm going to cleanse it with either Hux or First Order Officer. So as long as I take out Wat before he can do anything, and the Nihilus, Maul and Savage won't be doing anything, and it'll just get down to where it's just me versus Malik. And First Order Executioner will stack up enough offense that even without doing critical hits, he's going to be taking down Malik. Not to mention the tenacity down
is
the tenacity down. What's paused?
Sorry, there you go. No, continue. Okay. You paused it for a second. Continue. Okay.
Not to mention the tenacity down from Kylo Ren Unmasked will make it so that First Order Officer Special and First Order Executioner Special can reduce the turn meter on the enemy Malik. So that eventually I will wear down Malik and kill him and reduce his turn meter so that he stays stunned. I won't be getting crits, but I will eventually kill him.
So Sarah's counter argument to that is that Hux Massacist can't ignore Malik. She would, when we write this, to taunting to kill Watt, which you kind of went over. Like he wouldn't actually be taunting in the front there. So that would be okay. I will say though that I don't think the stuns will work on Malik because he'll have the gear, and when he gets back up, that tech, it cleanses him too. So even if he's not taunting, he will get rid of this. He'll get rid of the stun.
True.
So I like your ideas there. I think it's possible. Like I said, I think this one's a very interesting battle. I could see going either way.
Can Malik kill any of my people?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, when he does a drain and like
it doesn't do anything against Kylo Ren Unmasked.
Oh, that's true. Yep, that's true. With the stun and stuff, I mean, and controlling Nihilus and those ones at the same time. Like I said, that one's an interesting one. I like the arguments on it. I went back and forth on it. I could see it happening, but you could also, on the flip side of that, Kylo Ren versus Malik, even if he can't kill him, would be a timeout type of scenario if he got to executioner first type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Hux, like, does that stop Darth Maul as a leader in the beginning because they gain 20%?
It does.
So
I forgot about that.
Like that would be that would play a role in it too. So there's like a lot of things I actually don't know the answer to. But given your other victories here, I went with the strong finish on a second attempt.
Oh, come on.
Ones. Yep, that's where I went here on those. So I think maybe again a timeout or Nihilus got an annihilate in there somehow on one of them before he could get him, or Savage gets like a throwdown thing. One of them happens. Something in there gets stuck. So people think that one over. I like Sergi's arguments against and the incredulousness that I wouldn't win. So that's good.
I got it in the bag.
I do think the overall victory, from my view, goes to Sergi. But that's why we'll have other people vote as well. I have already voted.
Okay.
All right, on to so we don't have Howie quite to defend his. I'm going to go with my attacks on him. And up here for a second. All right, so first with Howie's defense, he has a boss lead with Boba Fett, Dengar, IG-88, and Zam Wessel. I should say we had a couple of votes on the other. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going back. Because this one hasn't been up quite as long. We got right now versus the Sith. We have a straight loss for your First Order against
one vote.
That one, and a strong finish on second attempt. That's me. And JTR.
People shouldn't vote until after they hear the arguments. Okay.
and full health protection on those ones. All right. So I thought there was more other than me. Those were just my votes that I already had. So the now, which I already told you about, versus Howie, we can see where we're at with those. And then I have a counter of Newt Gunray, B1, Droideka, Sunfac, Geonosian Soldier, Bosk, if you have Bosk and I have kept Newt Gunray on offense, if your Bosk out relics me by like combined total of 15, I will still crush you. It's a really, really easy counter, especially with B1 healing everybody all the time. Extort gets up there very, very quickly, and Bosk can't hold on to his taunt, and the other people just don't get any turns. It's like 3 or 4 for every one of theirs. B1 builds up. Droidica can get some good blasts in there. I'm very strongly in the not full health, full protection. No, that's not true. B1's going to do it. I'm in the 60 camp for this. You could talk me into 55 to 60 in that range, but I'm very confident in using Gunray against Bosk. I just did it today in Grand Arena, so.
Oh man.
That's where we're at. There's I mean I'm open to the to your counters here, but it's a really easy win. I strongly encourage people to use that if you haven't already in Grand Arena. If you keep Newt for offense, and you don't even need B1, you can just do it with other separatists.
Okay, so it looks like Newt is faster than any. No, Zam Wessel's fastest.
Zam's probably fastest.
So Zam goes first with an AoE of thermal detonator. And then it looks like Newt's going to go next. You do have the advantage that your weakest tune doesn't have protection.
Well, it won't matter because Extort is up, so no taunt is going to be lived in there anyway. Because they don't cleanse it. It's another like on defense, it's another
Extort,
problem of.
He would keep his taunt if the weakest person on your team still has protection.
Not with Extort.
You don't
it
think
gets
so?
rid of it. No, I'm 100%. I just literally did it today. I do it all the time. Like it's not you really don't have to worry about it at all. Extort will stop him. It's not an unpreventable taunt. It goes away if it tries.
Because his kit says that when Bosk loses taunt, he gains taunt for 1 turn if the weakest enemy has protection.
Yep.
But okay.
Yep, but he doesn't regain it because I'm 100%
Okay,
on that one. I do it all the time. So,
okay.
But that's not even if it did, you would just keep throwing extorts out there on Bosk, and it would keep spreading.
Okay. So, even though you've got Newt, which is very good, and you got B1 Battle Droid.
This is the Sir G team. I mean,
yes,
you're the guy that got me onto this. So
but I don't know how well it'll work without Count Dooku stealthing.
Oh, I don't even use Dooku. He's not needed. And in the actual battles, I don't need him. Like this is of all the battles that are presented on both of these, like this is the one that I actually use minus B1. Like you go in undermanned with Newt.
Oh, Zam Wessel
putting works.
Thermal detonators. Dengar putting thermal detonators. Boba Fett with his AoE ability block. IG-88 with the. Doesn't his AoE do heal immunity? Or is it just.
Yes. Well, if you get target lock on there, it will.
Oh, there you go. Yes. Oh, they've all got Zetas. That's right.
Yep. They all have their Zetas.
Yes. Target lock is going to keep B1 from being able to heal your team.
Nah, like once or twice, if he even gets a turn. I mean, and I legitimately mean ever.
No.
Yeah, you need to do this team. You need to do this team.
Zam Wessel, Dengar, all these hunters are going to go before your Sun Fac can taunt. And ability block from either Boba or IG-88 is going to be put on Sun Fac. So there's nothing stopping these bounty hunters from going after Newt or B1. I don't know.
They have so many turns. It's a 3 or 4 to 1 type of scenario here once you have extort on even one of them, and then goes from there. I'm just gonna have to record the next time I do a battle. I'll let you know. So far the people I like the going back to. Great. That's what you should do. You did a better job than I did for Sarah, but the and the vote so far in the very positive. Again, maybe we'll leave that. You guys vote for yourselves. See what you not have, what other people have. Next round is Karth defense with Karth, Mission, Zalbar, Canderous, and Juhani. So the full normal team. And I counter with Django, Embo, Orasing, Greedo, and Cad Bang. And this is another one that's a little more, I think this one is very interesting, but Django is incredibly strong, and a lot of the things that he does well against Karth from his Zeta really stop them from putting on their dots that they need, and can get around Zalbar very easily because he can ignore the taunt, and once he gets the they'll have damage immunity. They have lots of good stuff from his leadership. Healing immunity will stop them, and they don't get a bonus turn meter with the burn in there. Never mind, Embo and Orasing do hit very hard when they are geared properly. Greedo has his Zeta will be taken away. Turn meter stuns. Cad Bane hits hard. More stuns. Dispels. I'm feeling pretty good about that team. Not Newt versus Boss good, but I'm quite positive I can make that one work out very nicely.
Okay.
Howie's counter argument.
I, Sir G, agree with you that your first battle with Newt, you should win that very well. Like you said, should be really a hands down. But now this battle, I, Sir G, as well as Howie, don't see it going as the way you play it out. I don't think he's got the full Karth Old Republic team here. At R3, do you have any idea how much damage Mission and Canderous do?
Yeah, I have an R1 Canderous, so I have a pretty good idea of where he's at.
And Mission, no matter what tenacity you get for being Django lead, Mission is going to put days on your characters. Mission is going to wipe out your characters. You have Django lead, but you don't have an AoE tune, an AoE damage besides Django to get your contract going early on. So it's going to take many turns for you to get your contract. And until then, all your bounty hunters are vulnerable because you have no tank. And let's see. Canderous is going to take tons of turns. Going to put tenacity down on your team so that your tenacity doesn't matter. And again, just that killer combination of Mission and Zalbar.
It's a good team. They're a good combo.
I really don't think that you can beat him with your mishmash bounty hunter.
Oh, so that's Karth I used to be super high on, and now literally get beat by everything, including this. I think this is a good bounty hunters have all the thing again, Orasing and their dispels from all of them to keep Zalbar from being the one that's always taunting. We can get Karth and Canderous down very quickly. Mission, well, they'll hit hard. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this is a clean win by any stretch of the imagination, but I like where Django is going to be attacking these ones from. So vote away, people. I like it. This is where we're at.
The Karth lead, where you get assist on basics. You're gonna lose at least 2 or 3 bounty hunters before you can get your contract, before Django can kill any of either Canderous or Karth. I don't think he can do it, but okay.
and then second team that I have is Ewoks and Chewbacca. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that would be fine against Karth as well. Less sure than Django, but when it's already defeated more, you could go with it. But if I'm voting and it's not me, I'm voting for Django with a close first attempt type of win.
That's fair.
But just so happens I beat that one. Yeah. All right. So last one, also a one for us to discuss here. Darth Revan on defense with HK-47 and Sith Marauder, and then Geo Brood Alpha and Geo Spy. I just love this fantasy draft because that just makes you wouldn't have anyway. All right, and then on offense, Palpatine, Vader, Sith Trooper, Tarkin, and Sith Assassin. Without Malik, Palpatine. I'm feeling pretty confident Darth Revan's team might not ever get a turn. Maybe.
What?
Maybe.
No.
That's
No.
the whole point of why they had to nerf Matt with Malik and add the Sith thing, because you get those up there and it's lights out for that entire team.
No.
They can't even move because you've gone and done that the whole time.
You are
No
remembering it
Bastila on those.
wrong.
No, that's exactly why they do it.
No.
And Sith Assassin, Vader, all of them will go before them. You might, maybe get off like a Revan will do a fear thing, but it'll go on. Wait, that's Sith Trooper, the other one. So even if they did kill one, you'd have some good AOE returns to it. But that's why they couldn't do that. They had to. Had to nerf it because Palpatine worked too well against Darth Revan.
They had to nerf it.
That's the whole point of it.
They had to nerf it because a Palpatine Traya squad mixture had a chance to beat Darth Revan. It wasn't flawless, and a lot of it required Darth Nihilus there to annihilate each enemy one by one.
That was with Malik and Fallen Bastard.
No, that was without Malik.
This is much harder without those ones, but
it is harder without Fallen Bastila. That's true. But even before Malik, the Palpatine squad had a hard time. It had maybe, I don't know, 60-70% chance to win. But that required Darth Nihilus. And I think Traya and Scion, if I remember.
They were just the best options that you would have from there. But again, once you have so many defenses in there. Oh, yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't even think you had to do it. I think you had Revan right away. Did you ever run
I never ran it. No, I never ran it.
No, you don't even know what you're talking about.
No, but this is the same thing that you do, and I do it in GOTB. You have Palpatine as your lead, and you do all these other ones, and you just keep rolling right through them. No one gets the turn because there's so many debuffs on the board. And Tarkin and Sith Assassin, you lose 5 or 6 debuffs every time, and they just keep popping away, and
you will get turns.
Get them destroyed.
But no, you will not kill. Okay, first off, Darth Revan goes first. Darth Revan is faster than Sith Assassin. Darth Revan...
No. Vader goes first. I calculated that part of it. Then Sith Assassin goes because Vader is putting up the dots right away and everything. Oh yeah, for sure. Vader has more.
No.
100%.
Where is Vader on his speed?
We're statting Vader. All right, so Darth Revan is 174.
Mm-hmm.
Vader is 141, so he needs to get 33 speed from his team, and he gets 32 from him and Palpatine themselves, plus 24 for the other 3. So he's at 56 speed. So I mean, it's quite a bit more than Revan. So that's why Vader goes first. And then the whole team goes before Revan goes, and they have all their other things going. You can't stun Darth Revan, so that's why I think he would get a turn in there. But they also wouldn't have a full Sith Empire team, so they wouldn't have some of the extra bonuses. Get HK down. I'm feeling good about it.
You're crazy.
No, that's just how math works when you add all of these debuffs in there with their turn meter.
Okay, so you think Vader will go first, followed by Sith Assassin. See. Okay, maybe that turn order would work. Vader, Sith Assassin.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then she gives more turn meter to the rest of the Sith on the team, which is everyone except
yes,
Tarkin.
she gives turn meter.
Except Tarkin,
But
he doesn't need it because then all the other debuffs would be going away.
Okay. So the only characters on Howie's team that get ferocity is Marauder, HK, and Revan.
Yep.
You're gonna.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of forgot about ferocity. Oh man, that just makes it way better for my team.
No,
I just thought it was gonna work without it.
You don't even know how it works. Now listen. He's got Geonosian Brood Alpha. So Brute is up there taunting.
That gives you more debuffs.
More debuffs.
That 6th character gives you more debuffs and more turn meter.
No, you can't.
Oh yeah, you have
Brute.
your.
You can't
sure, you
Brute.
can easily. He'll have shock on him and so many debuffs going on, and Sith Trooper is going to hit super hard. Assassin can get under the protection. Tarkin, they're not going to hit hard because they're all going to have defense down the whole time.
No, you crazy, man. Okay, so Vader goes, then Sith Assassin goes. But nobody is losing a debuff on the enemy team until Darth Revan finally gets to take a turn. You have no tank. So as soon as Darth Revan takes a turn, he's going to do fear on your entire team. With him and HK and Marauder, it takes them 2 turns to lose any stacks of ferocity.
They'll have the other debuffs already on there. Tarkin will be the only one that doesn't go before Darth Revan. Probably. And then he would go.
What debuffs?
But
they got the dots from Vader. That's it. What debuffs are you thinking is going to be?
Well, then the Sith Trooper goes and
there's no debuffs.
Palpatine goes. I don't know what he does. Palpatine goes too. So they have a ton of one. Sure, there is.
What?
He has shock and stun.
Stun doesn't land on.
But does on Brood Alpha, his other one, and Spy.
It does.
All of them have good chances
but
there.
If you've played with Palpatine, you know how inconsistent his stun is.
Sure, you might not get all of them, but we already have the other ones going in there too.
There's only the Geos are the only ones that he can get a stun on. It's impossible to get it on the other ones.
Correct.
So you've got Revan, HK, and Marauder, an R3 Marauder, an R3 HK, where Darth Revan does an AoE fear, then gets.
And then they lose all their stuff. Like the fear is not as important because at most we lose 1 turn here, and then that's when they start losing their debuffs. And then I get all my turns again, and then my turns just go.
I wish it worked like that.
All
Faye.
the time.
No.
All the time.
No.
Turn after turn.
No, listen. Darth Revan's first turn, and this is why the Palpatine counter was not strong. His first turn, no debuffs are lost yet. He does AoE fear. He still has not lost any debuffs. His second turn, he does AoE shock. Now your squad, without a dispeller, or you've got Sith Trooper as a dispeller, so maybe you could strategically use that somehow. But you've now got.
Wouldn't be necessary. I'd already be rolling before that, but continue.
You had the AoE fear, and now you have AoE shock so that you don't get any bonus turn meter. So it doesn't matter how many debuffs fall off of his team, you won't get any bonus turn meter because of the shock. Because of the speed Darth Revan, HK, and Marauder now have, their crazy speed, Marauder and HK are both going to one-shot 2 of your tunes.
No. That only works when they have a lot of debuffs on the other side. Even if they got those turns to go with it, they might hit them, but they won't be super hard. And then Sith Trooper would get bonus turns, and he would hit back.
Crazy.
HK would that would be the guy that would die right away. It would be HK or Marauder with Sith Trooper doing if maybe unlikely any of my characters even died because they're. Going nonstop. That's how this works with the debuffs. That's how those ones would.
People listening know the truth.
Get that move.
People listening.
That it would be an easy way. I mean, listen,
No way.
that's why they had to nerf it. It's too good against Darth Revan. They just wouldn't
Not
get
with your squad. Not with that 5.
with this is a great 5 for it. Everything about him says debuff, more turns. Here I go. Here I go.
Are crazy.
So they are and so far of the 9 votes or 10 votes we have so far, we have 2 losses and then a strong finish on second attempts and 7 wins the first. Oh wait, and some other second attempts there. So some people that are, half wins right away, half second wins, and a couple won't win at all. And a couple that won't win at all, just silly people. But the rest of it in there, feeling good about. All right, one more. Howie attacking me. I think Sergi is just really trying to get Howie built up there because he knows I'm the strongest opponent and is the most scared. We'll save that one for the end here.
That's true. But in all fairness, though, he set a good defense, and I don't think that your teams can overtake it. I truthfully don't.
Oh, I definitely bare minimum second time win for those ones there.
You only get one
bare minimum
second time win.
Yeah, I only need it for if one of them goes poorly, which just won't happen. So probably won't need it at all. But if I did, they won't both go poorly. All right. On defense, I have a Basil lead with Jolie, Kanan, Qui-Gon, and Mace. So a bunch of Jedi. And on offense, he has Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Anakin, Barriss, Ezra, and Old Ben. Howie's argument is Jedi Knight Revan should beat Basila easily.
I'll argue for him.
Yeah, continue.
Yes. Jedi Knight Revan should beat Bastila easily.
That was the sorry, I didn't say yes. Thank you for the that is what he wrote, and the inflection there was important.
Yes, I know. I do have a little bit more. The critical hits healing from Barriss Offee, Jedi Knight Anakin's massive damage, Ezra with assists, Jedi Knight Revan will be fighting on offense. So he's going to target Jolie Bindo first. So he's going to make sure Jolie Bindo is dead before moving on to your other Jedi.
Going to take a lot. That's going to take a lot. He's going to have the protection up and all the stuff that he gets from it. Anyway, Jolie's staying strong. Strong.
And he's got a good tank with Old Ben. And you're really lacking offense on your squad. I don't he's got huge heavy hitters. Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Anakin, Ezra Bridger, and this is Anakin with all the offense from Jedi Knight Revan's lead. And Ezra calling either Revan or Anakin to assist. Jolie's going to be out before you know it, and no revive because it's not.
No, he's not. He's not out before you know it. I think Jolie is hard to kill. I'm with you, Kel. Continue.
He will be hard to kill. Let's say it takes 3 turns from his Jedi.
It'll take more than 3, I believe. The
3 turns from each Jedi. It would not take more than 15 turns of his team. And
you also have to include Basila will be using hers. That doesn't work because he has but she'll cleanse him. That'll have buff immunity still, right? Yeah.
He's gonna do cleanse on Qui-Gon because he's so weak.
Yes, that type of stuff will certainly happen in there.
Now, if you were on offense, you might have a chance. But with him on offense, I don't think so. Okay, counter argument. That's
it. The Jedi Revan team, Jolie would be tough, and you don't have Grandmaster Yoda and a couple of the stalwarts that are with Jedi Knight Revan, including Jolie and Basila. They help him quite a bit. The counter to my own counter is I don't have enough offense to kill him. I freely admit that. So I think he has a good offensive counter there. There's a chance, albeit small, of a. I think there's a chance of a timeout somehow. Some of the mechanics are Kanan is taunting and brings protection up, and they get a couple of those things going in there. But I don't think that's super high. So I'm being realistic here. I think he wins this.
Okay.
Not a full health or protection type of thing, and there's a small chance of a timeout.
Okay.
Maybe.
Disagree.
But I that one is I'm okay with that. I can't win all of them. That's all right. I don't need to. All right. The next one on defense, I have my new love Shakti, Clone Sergeant, Commander Cody, Plo Koon, and Ethkoth. And on offense, there is Asajj, Night Sister Zombie, Night Sister Acolyte, Talia, and Wampa with an exclamation mark. So
I like Wampa.
Wampa's gonna womp. What is the Howie argument?
Howie's argument is that you will try and kill Zombie multiple times, and it's just going to rack up Asajj's offense. Wampa AoE will put days on your team, and it will be timed so that it is after Shakti does her first cleanse. And we will strategically use Talia to... What's the thing that...
She cleanses your team.
She does cleanse, but what's her...
Right.
What's the thing that makes you lose turn meter when you get the next hit?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The thing that
she does something like that?
The thing Krennic does?
Oh, stagger.
There we go.
Yeah.
She staggers.
She has stagger?
Huh. She does. She's going to stagger Shakti to keep... You have no dispel on your team. So once you get dazed, your whole team is
Shakti.
tripled. Right, okay, good. You're right.
And she has a couple different of them.
Once
right?
she uses... No, only one.
No, just the middle one. The other one just does the health and stuff, right?
Yeah. Zombie's going to get really sped up after getting attacked a couple times. And we're just going to wail on Shakti first, get her out of there, and then your whole team falls apart. And Wampa, R3, dude hits hard.
He does. Counter this. Ignoring Wampa for a second, I think the Shakti takes the Night Sister one pretty easily. Without Daka or Spirit or Talzin, Night Sister, Acolyte and Talia are none of those. And with Shakti being able to just dispel Zombie, we don't have to kill Zombie at all. It'll just counter every time or just do regular hits to top her. Yeah, but that when it counters, it will take that away. And then, so you're right. That's the defensive thing is, who are they once Zombie is not taunting? Do they always just attack Zombie and do stupid stuff? Possibly, but assuming that they don't just only attack Zombie, taking out Acolyte and Talia shouldn't be much problem at all. They do get a ton of bonus from Clone Sergeant and Cody. Clone Sergeant is set up perfectly to be a Night Sister killer. His AoE is very strong at R3. That is where mine is actually at. And when you add all the leader stuff in there with the plus 35 speed, so we're going first for most of those, if not all of the stuff at the start here, and recovering health and protection. There's no
first.
Yeah, I think my team would go first, speed wise.
Asajj lead for 30, and no buffs on your team at the start, so she gets plus 75.
And Shakti would have plus 35 on their other one.
Clone Sergeant and Cody get plus 35. She doesn't.
Oh, that's true. You're right. So that she might. Okay. But it's not all the Night Sisters aren't going first scenario type of thing. It would be probably back and forth. And your Asajj might go first overall. But all that healing and regeneration is going to be very difficult for them to take over. I use this team minus Ethkoth on Grand Arena defense myself, or I did last time, and it had at least one hold in one of them, maybe two of them, of the 3 times I did it. So it's a very solid team. I really like Shakti.
Yeah.
Clone Sergeant hitting back would be a good one. Again, I could see that going either way, but I would feel pretty good about that. If on the flip side, if I went against that with Grand Arena against the Shakti team, I would be like fingers crossed, hoping on Asajj winning that.
You're right that it's a powerful squad you got, even though it's half clone. But with him on offense, and every time you dispel from zombie, it dips him below 100% health, so he'll get 50% turn meter, and then put taunt right back up. I don't think your squad's going to be able to get around his.
Oh, for sure. And then let's say they hits Clone Sergeant, and he'll just counter, and then he'll go right away because he'll crit, and then he just gets to continue to use his mow down many times. And Cody bringing him in for assists.
One time.
His also has an AoE.
One time
as well.
And then the cooldown will be too
more
high.
as well. And feeling solid. Feeling solid. All right. And then the last one is a defense of General Skywalker 5s, Ahsoka and ARC Trooper and Echo. So full 501st with Ahsoka instead of Reqs. And Howie's attack is simply to use Reqs. Would you like to explain his argument, Sergi?
Yes. I don't even attack his gas squad out of protest, with Sergi and Sarah sniping Malik and Karen from me, and doing nothing to stop Faye from getting a full gas squad. Actually, I would attack the gas squad with a solo Rex squad and post the video online to point out that I wasted a second round pick on. Good luck in the finals, people.
And then my counter argument was it's hard when you're the only one doing it for the greater good, Howie. So maybe, that would be a surprise victory. You never know. Pulling that one out of there. Clearly, and he didn't have anything. His approach still works. Like it's theoretical, at least, that he could still win if I couldn't clear and he did 2 better clears than mine on the other side. As I said, I'm quite confident in my ability to at least clear, even if they're not quite clean. But having the one team, if you can't clear the other ones, I mean, that's an approach in itself of, you can't, so you go super hard on 2 of the teams.
Right.
And hope that that does it. So the people may vote that way or another, but again, I feel pretty good about that.
We'll see.
So those are the semifinals. Visit SurgyGames.com, SurgyGames.com, SurgyGames.com to check out and vote. And then next time we'll have the finals ready to go up.
Yeah.
Voting, and we'll find out who's in there.
Voting will be open until next Monday for our next podcast.
Great. And then we'll make sure to have the finals up before the end there.
Yeah. And then
so maybe we end that earlier because you'll have to have time to get our new defenses and stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like Friday that week before or something like that even.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go vote
So
now.
for me to have my defenses up, who knows on your side? Who knows? I mean,
go vote now in case it goes down before our next podcast.
Yeah, don't let them wait. Just do it now, people. All right, that was good. Let us know your own thoughts when we have that put in there, and a couple Discord corner, and we'll finish up here. Jimbo, hi Jimbo. Want to know? Could you talk about how I modded the JTR team that I used in territory battle for the when I got 4 out of 4? I use speed on JTR, solid speed, probably 15-ish average secondaries with a speed set. So it's like 295 or something like that. And then the rest were all. So BB-8 is not good speed mods. None of them are 6E. R2, okay speed mods. 3PO had some, again, they're just regular speed mods. And what was the fifth one I even used then? Oh, T3? Yeah. So point is, JTR had very good mods. The rest of them just had solid B to C tier ones. I don't have an exact answer for that. I actually look forward to using it in this territory battle now that I have Resistance Trooper and Finn up there. I want to try it without 3PO so we can use him in the Padme team, at least in one of the rounds. I'm worried without 3PO, though, that it won't work out very well. So we'll see. So, Jimbo, to answer the question, I don't have a good answer for you because I didn't really look into it that much. I just went with what they normally have. But in general, it was just speed, and it shows you that it can work even if you didn't put a ton of time into the mod thoughts on that. I don't really swap mods for territory battles. Sorry. No, that's what I meant. Yeah. It was too much work for me. And then the second one from RA898, common Discord corner questioner. I love it. Thanks for sending them in. For those of us late game players who farm without farmed resistance ships or even a workable first order, what would you suggest we work on currently? So I think question is, like, if you weren't going to go after Galactic Legends, or maybe you're too far away from it, what should you do instead? Sergi, what would you do?
I would try to farm the stars for both. If you can't, I'm gonna say go with First Order, because the First Order pilots are better. Even if Resistance capital ship is good and the Resistance ships become good, it's going to be hard for you to build up Old Poe, Resistance pilot, the character, and Scavenger Ray. None of those you're going to want to build up. Whereas for the First Order ships, you've got Kylo Ren Unmasked. Good character. I'm sure he'll have a place in whatever First Order becomes. First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot, who I also think is a good character. And now that I'm saying it, I guess they don't have the best pilots either. But I think that the First Order squad will do well as ship-wise. Because Tyler Silencer, I think he's going to get new life. He's going to get a second chance. They're going to have to rework the Resistance ships.
Reborn again.
Yeah. So if we're just talking about ships and not talking about the Galactic Legends, I think First Order ships are the way to go.
All right. And what if, I don't know which way of this question is going. What if you couldn't, like, you're not even going to do Galactic Legends at all? What would be your next farm? Would you tell someone to go for General Skywalker or Malik or...
No Galactic Legends?
Yeah.
I would... If we're talking about meta in the game, we don't know what the new meta will be like, so we don't know what a good counter will be.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, General Skywalker is going to have at least a 40 to
fighting
50,
chance.
Yeah, 40 to 50% win rate with good mods. So you're still going to want to do General Skywalker. And the clones are really good in the raids, so that's helpful. But on the other hand, you could work on Resistance tunes for the Sith raid and just eventually get ready for the Galactic Legend Ray. Because they're always going to be there. So it's not like I got to make it by when it launches,
Right.
or
Yep.
I don't get it for 6 months, 4 months, 3 months. If you're close and it just takes you another week or another month, that's fine.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Relative to doing it before. Good answers. Sounds good. Rank and file segment on the movers, shakers, and the meta, and what to expect next. Big changes. Last time we said this would probably be Darth Revan's last hooray at the top. I think he had like 41 to 40% or something like that. General Skywalker has blown past Darth Revan, 62% to Darth Revan at 24% and Padme at 10. So this is one of those, people are saying for a while now, like, oh, it's almost like a rock, paper, scissors meta type of thing, which is simply not true. People just didn't have Skywalker at R7 and will only grow from there. So General Skywalker, yeah, I was kind of surprised by that too. That was a big, that was exactly the time I think that mid tiers to high tiers needed for people that had absolutely zero get one built up to do their thing. So in the last month, it's gone from whatever 10-15% to 62. So that is a big jump, and we'll probably just get higher until the end of March when the other two come out.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably slowly, similar to this, like once they get built up. I am interested to see the two against each other, but that is a strong Skywalker meta, and we'll be eating more of the pie soon. All right, and last but not least, let's head to Uncle Owen's Moisture Farm, talk about who and what we're currently farming in game, because everyone knows work comes before going to Tashi Station to pick up power converters. Sir G, what are you working on? What is the plan specifically on those resistance and first order?
The plan specifically, farm up my stun guns, farm up my gear 12 pieces. So what am I currently doing is trying to get at least 100 of each finisher. And
yeah, that's a good plan. I like that one. I like to do that as well.
I was already there, but then I took Kylo Ren Unmasked and Jedi Training Ray to Gear 13. They used the same finisher.
Well, good thing you had the 100 then, right?
Yes.
That's why you do it.
So now I'm working on those ones again. The light side injector handle salvage.
One of them. Skinny tube, thicker one.
Yeah. So I would actually, I'm not doing it because it's too much effort, I think. But it would be good to go to swagga.gg to check which gear specifically you need. Because one of the difficulties, they said they won't make everybody needing to be Relic or Gear 13. But let's say they make 8 of the 13 required things for just a single Galactic Legend. 8 of them have to have relics. That's at least 800 Chirotech that you need to have built by March if you want to get it when it launches.
Boo.
So either have 8 times 1400. No. One finisher piece is 2800.
2800 because you need 100 of them.
Worth of Chirotech. Yes. So if you're gonna purely try and buy the Chirotech like Faye does, that's gonna be 2800.
I have a frowny face right now because I also know the answer to Resistance Hero Fane and Poe are not just finishers; they're jerks before then. So I think they each need I think Poe needs 300 Chirotech total. And
you're right.
Finn needs like 250 or 200 maybe. Like an insane amount to get to that. And they're going to be 100% the ones that you need. Like those are the ones that are going to take so I think you almost need add another 50% to what you're thinking right now.
Man, so
like 20 to 25,000 crystals in just Chirotech.
More than
just
that.
Chirotech. Right. That's being generous for me. So
that's if 8 or so characters for one Galactic Legend need to be Gear 13, and you don't have them there already.
Right. Yeah. Even that 8 seems pretty like, oh, that's
Yeah.
probably going to need to be more than that.
Dang. 20,000 crystals just for Chirotech?
Yeah. At least.
And you've got to.
Hey, at least you get
beta.
3 a day. 3 a day from the. They eased that crunch.
Wow, this is going to be hard.
Yep. It is.
Best advice: as they release the requirements, try to get those built up so that each step of the way, I'm there.
Right. That's how I like it. It's too sad to think about as a whole when you put it like that. But then it's like, over 3 or 4 months, when you add up all your arena stuff, like then you start to be like, okay, I suppose I can spend whatever or not, or you can't. But I started to, for my farming things, it pains me, but I'm actually farming Chirotech because of what you said there. It's like, it's just too many to spend the other way. I don't need quite as many finishers as I do Chirotech, even though I'm going to need a ton of those too. So I'm actually farming Chirotech, but not a ton, because also all that stuff is going to Hyena and Y-Wing Bomber too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing 1 refresh of each of those a day. So that's what I'm actually farming. And then the rest of the other 50 refresh and the bonus energy is going just towards Chirotech at the moment. There is Grand Arena Championship stuff. I do have some of that, like 15,000 of that. So I can get like, what does that equal? Like half of 1 Chirotech? That's not true. It's probably like 3 or 4, but still not even enough to do one of those characters all the way to the top. And they really need to increase that.
And you need all that pit raid salvage, the Mark V.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Those are what are those called? The MK5 Iraq, the droid collars, and whatever ones, the other ones that are needed in there. Like, so you're right. The binoculars, I've been slowly getting those built back up, but you can run out of that other stuff that you need to finish things to be finishers too. And we haven't even talked about the Gear 12.5 and.
I know.
So even though I feel decent about my resistance stuff, when you put it that way, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
And that's for half of it.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I mean, literally until
you're right,
July or August, I think this is in a good and a bad way. Like, well, at least I know I'm not going to be like questioning what I'm doing. You just keep plugging away at it if you're still playing the game by then.
Yeah. I can only focus on one now that we're talking about
it. The change when we both made each other sadder on. And like we knew it too.
Yeah.
But when you like actually lay it out there, it's like, oh no, that's like double what I thought. Yeah. So good luck to all of you out there. If you have some clues other than dropping that money, let us know. But I'm thinking that's about the only shot in there. All right. Thanks for joining us, sir. I enjoyed our arguments on the teams.
Yeah.
I look forward to your upset at fan favorite Sarah. I mean, me says it's
Vote
me versus
honestly,
you
people.
Next time in the finals. Yeah.
Vote honestly.
There's already a couple votes for Reqs beating Skywalker. So
trolls.
Yeah. But this is good either way. Even in my heart, I'll know how I'll have won if it's
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know who would win out of you two. He said a good defense.
Oh, Sergi, just trying to find it's like you're trying to cheese and make it so you get an easier opponent in Grand Arena.
I don't want to face you. Howie has the best chance of beating you.
All right. Thanks for joining. I look forward to doing it next week. Hopefully, Sarah doesn't have to go to work. Gosh. And then we'll see you next time. That'll do it. Chewy, we're home.